welcome to episode 156 of your almost weekly Concealed Taco Dudes podcast. So today it's a lunchtime recording episode, so we just have me, Taco.
Jason with Concealment Solutions.
All right, let's go ahead and knock out some sponsors.
Okay.
NOEBulletMolds.com, the finest bullet molds on the planet, as well as they do a lot of reloading gear, like kind of custom stuff, like custom neck expander, mouth expanders when you're reloading your brass cases and stuff.
Right.
They have just released these new powder through expander pieces.
Huh.
So
I guess when you live in a machine shop.
Yeah, you can do that. So, yeah, anyways.
And that's stuff that you're not going to really find anywhere else.
Yeah, it's especially with the custom sizes. So
right.
They'll run, instead of just having a 457, they'll have like a 456, 457, 458, 459, 460.
Yeah. So
that you can size your, expand your case mouth to match the diameter that you're sizing your bullets.
Right.
So, and properly maintain neck tension.
Right.
So, NOEBulletMolds.com, coupon code FLT001, save you a few bucks.
Yep. And Utah Air Guns at UtahAirGuns.com. Good stuff.
Yeah. I'm gearing up to make another purchase, I think. I got to save up.
Another crown?
Not as tempting as it is with those ones that they have for like $1,200.
Yeah.
I think I want to get like a lightweight backpacking style air gun. I don't know if that exists, like a lightweight backpacking style
I think
with a decent reservoir. So like a bottle.
That's the trick.
Yeah,
that way you don't have to carry a bottle with you.
There's a lot of them that have, like you have the Air Max. What is the one that's the wood one that's a bullpup that's really nice and compact?
Oh, the Cayman.
Yeah, the Cayman. So they have that, but you have that limited capacity of air.
Yeah. They're kind of bulky too, even though they are a shorter bullpup.
Yeah. So I'm just kind of looking at different options right now.
The Ed gun.
Yeah, the Ed gun is really nice, but it's like over $2,000.
Yeah. And even the original Ed gun, which was still super expensive.
Yeah.
But then you're a single shot and stuff like that. But that's what I think of when I think of a small, compact, lightweight air gun. That
same company, Air Max, they actually have a new gun out, and it's called the Crate.
Oh, yeah.
K-R-A-I-T.
Yeah.
And that one is looking promising. So I need to do a little bit more.
There's a lot of really cool new stuff.
And see what stuff would best fit that need, because I'd rather it be a little heavier but have a lot more air capacity,
right,
than have it be ultra light and have very little air capacity. Sure. If you're on a 4-day backpacking trip, you don't want to run out.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what I'm kind of leaning towards.
Okay.
But yeah.
Cool. So go check out Utah Air Guns. When you check out on their website, use the code AIRCANDY. You'll get free shipping and free turret stickers. They also have black ice coatings. I just took black ice coatings a new project.
What did you take them? A bike?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing with this bike?
It's getting hydro dipped. The fork just kind of got really dull. I mean, it was a matte finish anyway, but it just started looking really crappy. I'm not going to have the fork dipped. I'm just having it recoated. Mm-hmm. And then the frame is going to be, base coat's going to be black, and it's being dipped in. I couldn't get away from the sugar skulls. That's what the last one.
So you're doing that again?
Not the same one.
All right.
It is metallic gold sugar skulls, but they're all made up of like paisley patterns. So it's really crazy. But yeah, black and metallic gold.
Wow, that'll be.
It's gonna be super high zoot.
Yeah.
All the kids in my ride group they're gonna know I'm the coolest coach now. There will be no question.
There's no question after that. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm really looking forward to that. But check out Black Ice Coatings. Follow them on Instagram. Awesome gun finishes, hydro dipping, Cerakoting, Teflon coating, all that kind of stuff. But check them out. Call them up and tell them you want it slickery.
Mm-hmm. All right, Concealment Solutions.
So I have got so many projects in the works and so many new things. I just need the money to make them all happen. That's my holdback right now. But I'm hoping 2023 is going to be an exciting year for Concealment Solutions. Actually working on a new website right now.
Oh, yeah?
That I think is going to help to make your purchasing experience a little bit easier.
Is it going to be like a holster builder where you pick the gun and pick the...
Could be. We're still working on the details. We're just getting the basic information moved over right now. We'll outline a little more on how we want to present it. Mm-hmm. But hopefully it'll get to a point where, because there's so many options now that are easy to deal with. Like if you have a threaded barrel or suppressor height sights, okay, that's easy to accommodate on any holster that I make, but I don't have an option for that, and so there's probably going to be a few more options in the drop down menu. So you'll pick a holster, you'll pick your gun model, you'll pick what size belt clips. Might even have options for different types of belt clips depending on how crazy I want to get with it. I don't want to make it I don't want to overcomplicate it either, because that is no fun. It's like we went to a New Mexican restaurant by the house. There's seriously like 5 pages in the menu.
Oh, geez.
Like fine print. I was like, I don't even know. I almost left because
it's too confusing.
Yeah, well, so much of it looked the same. I was like, That's when you just go in and say, why don't you bring me your favorite thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway, I don't want my website to be like that. I want it to be simple, but we'll have some options where you can select, if you have a threaded barrel and stuff like that. That doesn't really add anything to the cost.
But
that way you're getting what you need. Because it's happened where I'll get a call from somebody, hey, I just got my holster, it doesn't fit my gun. I'm like, really? What's the problem? Well, it doesn't fit with my threaded barrel. Did you tell me you had a threaded barrel? It's like, why did you think that wasn't going to be a problem? Most people will reach out to me beforehand and say, hey, I'm getting ready to order this, but I have these on my gun. How do I need to do it? And
yeah,
depending on what it is, I'll just tell them, just put it in the order notes and just say, hey, I've got a threaded barrel. Okay, I'll take care of it. Now, don't order a non-light bearing holster and then in your order notes tell me I have this light, because those cost more money. That's a lot more work on my end to build that holster. But anyway, so cool stuff coming. Make sure you're following us on Instagram and Facebook, and sign up for the newsletter. That way you'll be the first to know about latest and greatest things. There was also, I had a woman come in the other day, ordered several holsters, and she's like, hey, she was looking at my bench, and there's knives everywhere, and guns everywhere. But she's like, hey, do you make training knives? And I was like, never made one before. Do you have your knife? She's like, yeah, let me go get it. Weirdest knife I've ever seen. It's a tiny thin knife with a bigger handle on it. Handle's curved. The blade had a reverse curve in it, so it curved up, and that was the sharpened edge. It was really weird. And she has signed up for this edged weapons class, a self-defense class with edged weapons. First of all, I'm like, okay, you're super cool for doing that.
Yeah, that's like crazy.
And she said, this is the knife that the instructor recommended for me. So I was like, okay. She's like, do you think you could make a training blade for it? And I went, let me see. I'm like, leave it with me. I've got some ideas. Anyway, I just made the blade out of aluminum. It's a full tang, and then I layered up some Kydex and made that for the grips, and then made a sheath for it that matched
the profile and stuff.
Matched her original knife and everything. Turned out super cool. I haven't talked to her yet to see if she's had her class yet, but so maybe I'm in the training blade business now. I don't know.
Nice.
But it went really pretty easy, and I was happy with it. Thought that was really cool, talking to her about what she was doing and all the training that she's been taking. So that's kind of the latest with Concealment Solutions. That was a long commercial, sorry.
Yeah.
Use the code Show Me the Candy when you check out. You'll save 15%, and I usually throw in stickers and some swag when you do that. So
nice.
Mag holder, horizontal mag carriers, go check them out, magholder.com. He's got all kinds of other swag and stuff on there, gun cleaning mats and all that kind of stuff that's kind of fun. So go check out Magholder, use the code Get in the Van I Have Candy. It's the original candy code from our friend Mark Housekeeper when he was running the place. But check them out and make sure you use that code. Saves you 15 or 20%, I don't remember. But that's our sponsors.
All right. Let's go ahead and do some listener feedback.
Okay.
It's been a while since we recorded. And now this listener feedback that I got does not include all the comments on the videos and Facebook posts, all that stuff.
Okay.
People, after we posted the Mark Housekeeper episode, there were tons of comments everywhere, and I did not collect all of them to read.
I'm sure.
But we do appreciate the comments, and
yes,
we, like you guys, sure will miss Mark.
Yes, indeed.
So, all right, this first one is from Matt H. And he says, "Hey guys, while in the process of re-listening to the Gun Dudes episodes on the SX3 channel, it appears that SX3, has stopped hosting them as the feed no longer works. Tried 2 podcast apps. Do you know if they are hosted anywhere else? If not, I will donate $50 plus the cost of a thumb drive and shipping if you send them to me. All of the episodes."
All of the episodes.
He says, "I still have a few brain cells left and need to eradicate them. Thanks."
I wonder if there is a way to retrieve it once they've stopped it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I'll reach out to Stephanie and see what's going on with that. I was actually thinking about that the other day because I know they haven't done anything with it since we broke away from them. But yeah, that would be cool to keep those alive.
Yeah. And then he also sent this video, a link to a video, and it was just so weird that I'll have to show it to you after. But basically, he just said like he's like taco, and then he sent this video, and it's some weird like Asian cowboy talking in a cowboy accent, wearing cowboy clothes, and talking about how he's not like a regular Asian guy, he's a cowboy. It was the weirdest video. Anyways,
does he have an Asian accent, or is he like...
No, he talks like a
American,
but like with a big drawl, so it's just weird. So yeah,
well, that's like when I went to Hong Kong in the 80s, and everybody in Hong Kong that speaks English, all the Chinese people that speak English speak it with a British accent.
Oh, really?
Because it was it wasn't really a British colony, but they're the ones who managed and governed and ruled it for 100 years before the Chinese took custody, and that was kind of a similar bizarre.
Yeah.
Because I grew up in California. About a third of my school in the 80s was Asian. You know, whether they were Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, whatever. And so,
Asians speaking English with a British accent.
Yeah, that's
is
weird.
Bizarre.
Yeah. So I was used to Asians speaking English to me all the time, and then we went over there and it was like, "You're doing it wrong."
You sound funny.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so this next one is from Kevin C. And he says, "Thanks for doing that podcast, guys. I really enjoyed listening to your stories of Mark. It was good to hear Carl, too. Sounds like he's doing a lot better." And
Carl is doing a lot better. He's still not 100%.
Yeah, you could tell with his voice.
Yeah, he sounds like a 80-year-old smoker.
Yeah. Anyways. And then Nate D wrote in and he said, "Hello, Concealed Taco Dudes. I was very sad when I heard the news about Mark. As I write this, it is still making me emotional. I started listening to you guys back towards the beginning in 2019, and that's where I was introduced to all of you as well as Mark. In October of 2019, I had ordered a mag holder from Mark, knowing that I was local. I was still glad to pay shipping. Mark took it upon himself to drive my mag holder out to my house in whatever city and drop it off with a nice little note on it. He called and left me a message saying that he was going to refund me the cost of shipping. I consider all of you my friend and wish I could have had more time with Mark. I know he is in heaven looking down at us. Until we meet again, Mark, we've got your 6.
Yeah.
And then he also wrote in. He was the one who sent us the recap of the gun recap, where he's talking about the guns he sold and bought in the previous year. And we had questions for him about the high points and and the Swedish Mauser, which model. So he says, hello and thank you for reading my email on the podcast. Yes, I have been listening for a long time. I love high points. They just run and they are cheap. Taco, my Swiss is the shorter one. So that's the M38.
Yeah.
And he says, yes, I do reload. I actually reload for all the calibers I have except for my rimfires. I have the dies from my 6.5 Carcano and just received some bullets for it that are the .268 from Graf & Sons. As for what I do, I think will be the next cheap firearm to buy nowadays. That's going to go from price. I would have to say it is the 6.5 Carcano carbine. So we were talking about like what was cheap now, but
what was cheap back then, but what's
later.
Yeah.
And so he's saying the 6.5 Carcano, and that is true.
Huh?
Because we had a bunch of them come in, and they were going for cheap. When Palmetto had their President's Day sale.
That's the one that Mark bought and then gave away.
Yeah, he bought it because he thought that was the funniest thing.
Their marketing was what humor. Got him. Yeah.
President's Day sale and selling the 6.5 Carcano. Huh. Anyways, he says, I have found them online patched in Cosmoline from about $180 to $250.
Wow.
So at that price, once they start drying up, then the cost will go up.
Yeah, for
Kind of like the old Mosin Nagants for $75.
Right. Yep.
So I think if you have an interest in that rifle, then you should get one because it will probably go up in price.
Yeah.
Now the one I got, it's kind of ugly and I think it's a mismatch, serial numbers, all that stuff. I bought two. I let Al pick which one he wanted out of the two because I didn't care because I don't know.
Right.
Just not. I'm not like super attracted to that gun. It's not quite as nice as some of the other military surplus guns. But I wanted one, and I do want to do some bullet casting for it, and we'll talk about that with what we do with guns.
Okay.
But anyways, that's some good feedback.
Yeah. And now the news. I have two news stories today. First, one suspect in an attempted armed robbery in East Hartford is dead after a store owner who was shot during the ordeal shot back, according to police. Police said two people wearing black ski masks went into Humble and Paid Company. I laugh because, I don't know, I guess you're trying to hide your identity, but man, you're sure giving yourself away walking in with a ski mask on. Yeah. There's no element of surprise, right? They walked into the store just after 10:30 p.m. Thursday, intending to rob the business. I'm trying to think of what Humble and Paid Company is. If they're open at 10:30 at night,
maybe it's a check cashing place.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
That those kind of businesses always attract great people.
Yep. The store owner struggled with one of the suspects who pulled out a firearm, and the suspect shot the owner in the back. The owner returned fire with two of his legally registered firearms, striking one of the suspects several times, according to police.
So in my mind, I'm imagining one in each hand, and he's just like pop, 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 pop. Yeah.
He's carrying one on each hip.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So Al was talking about how he might get because those PSA daggers are so cheap.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, these things shoot great.
Yeah.
I should just get another one for the other hip.
Yeah.
And have Jason make me a left-handed holster.
Yeah.
And I'll just draw both at the same time. Pop, pop, pop.
I think it's a great idea. It says officers who responded treated the suspect, identified as 26-year-old Joshua Haslam of Hartford, until the East Hartford Fire Department arrived and the suspect was transported to a hospital where he was pronounced dead.
Deed.
The owner was also treated at the scene for a gunshot wound to the lower back and was transported to the hospital. His injuries are not life-threatening. The other suspect remains at large and ran out of the building during the initial struggle. So
he's like, I'm out of here.
He didn't even wait for shots to be fired. Oh, resistance! Ran away. Anyway, I thought that was really cool because of the dual wielding.
Yeah, that is crazy.
That was
two guns.
Yeah.
What guns do you think he probably had?
Well, I mean, in my mind, they're single action Colt 45s.
And he's like
cocking the hammer back each time.
like shooting it like a Western.
Yeah.
Pop, pop, pop.
But they were, I don't know. I'm guessing they were probably some combat Tupperware Glocks or
maybe he had like a little, maybe it was like an ankle gun and like a regular carry, and so
I don't know, but yeah, and maybe he drew his primary
and shot,
emptied it,
and then drew
and maybe it was 2 revolvers or a couple of snub nose or something. Yeah. If you're in the news industry, we want more information on the guns that people are using. I also think, if you're involved in a shooting, like somebody kicks in your door or comes into your business and has trying to rob you at gunpoint, and you survive and they go to jail and stuff, I think you should get their stuff.
Yeah.
I think you should get their guns. And
I think so too.
I think that should just be, we're sorry for your trouble. Here, granted, most of them are going to be high points and crap like that. Poorly assembled polymer 80s and whatever. But I think as the victim, you've earned that.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's
you should propose that to the legislators in Utah.
That would be hilarious.
How about this?
That would totally deter crime.
Yeah.
Did you take my gun away?
And they gave it to the guy?
Yeah. Okay. This one takes place in Chicago. 2 people accused of beating an 80-year-old man during a home invasion on the far northwest side made their first court appearance in Thursday. Mansfield Wallace, 51, is charged with 1 count of home invasion and 2 counts of aggravated battery. Tabitha Hemphill, 31, is charged with 1 felony count of home invasion. At their bond hearing Thursday afternoon, the judge set Wallace's bail at $500,000 and ordered Hemphill without bail because she was on probation during the time of the attack.
Huh.
Yeah. Police have said they knocked on the victim's door in the 8500 block of West Catherine Avenue at 10:30 a.m. Monday, and when the victim opened the door, they began beating him. During the attack, the victim, a licensed gun owner, shot Wallace. The suspects fled the scene and went to Resurrection Hospital.
Wow. What a name of a hospital.
Yeah, I know. Where at last check, Wallace was in critical condition. So the old guy got beat pretty good, but got a critical shot on the one guy. He's in court, though, so apparently it wasn't fatal.
Yeah.
So the victim was also taken to Resurrection Hospital after suffering multiple injuries and was in serious condition as of Monday. Police said the victim's gun was found under the driver's seat of the Hyundai they were driving. So they took his gun.
Huh.
So it's interesting that they didn't just... I guess he was shot, so that's why they left and didn't finish him off with his own gun. Many in the neighborhood were rattled by the attack, but relieved that the victim defended himself. One woman who spoke to CBS asked to remain anonymous. "I'm really heartbroken for him and the family because he was at home alone and he must have been really scared when it happened. You never know if someone's going to come to help you in time, so this could have ended really badly." Well, no, somebody isn't going to be there to help you in time. That's why you have a gun.
That's why you have.
If he didn't have a gun,
he'd be dead.
Yeah. Kenny Wienerschnitzel.
Nice job on that pronunciation.
Kenny Wienerschnitzel, another nearby resident, said, "I'm glad that he protected himself. If someone breaks into my apartment, I'm going to do the same thing."
Good.
Many in the neighborhood described the victim as friendly, quiet, and reserved. So yeah, I like that one just because, yeah, if you're counting on the police to save you, you're gonna be dead.
Yeah, because
in most situations
they cannot get there.
If you're not prepared to defend yourself and take care of yourself, that's
Yeah, you're just out of luck.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're playing the odds.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into what we did with guns.
All right.
You want to go first?
Let's see. So, I did buy a gun.
I did too, but you're going to laugh when I tell you what it was. But go ahead.
You already know about this one. I bought Mark's Kel-Tec Sub 2000.
Oh yeah, that was the one with the M Carbo.
It was
like,
the M
edition.
Carbo special edition. It's got
Had all the upgraded parts and pieces.
paperwork, saying it's like one of so many, and yeah, it's got upgraded trigger and buttstock and muzzle brake, and there's a ton of upgraded stuff on it. Anyway, I had it for a little while. When we were over before he was gone, he was cleaning up a bunch of stuff and getting rid of some stuff, and I don't even know how it came up. But we mentioned something, or I said something about a Sub 2000, and all of a sudden he shows up with that one and hands, here, this is the one you need, and I was like, okay. He was still talking, but not very much at the time, and so we weren't communicating very well, and so over text, we went back and forth, and I argued that I needed to pay him more. He argued that I needed to pay him less, and, and then it just kind of got forgot about. But anyway, so I finally paid for that to his wife, and I am happy to have it. I have 2 Marks now. Marky Mark.
Yeah.
So I like the Sub 2000, and if you're gonna have one, that's the one to have.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't owned by Mark.
We'll have to go when the weather stops being so sloshy and snow and rain.
We need to
go out and do like a Mark shooting day where we take all the
Mark's guns
that we got from him and take them shooting, and
I
don't know.
Yeah. So as far as guns go, that's about all I did. I do have to talk about this knife sheath that I made for a customer. This is a big Polynesian dude comes into my shop. I have this knife. I need a sheath for it. I carry it every day, concealed, inside the waistband. And I'm like, okay.
How many pounds do you think this guy weighs?
I don't know. He's
huge? Like big guy? Or?
He's not huge. He's tall and he's thick.
Yeah.
He's just a big guy. This is a 12-inch blade.
It looks like
it's a short sword.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like something from
brass guard on it.
Yeah, King Arthur movie or something.
I mean, the blade's, what, 1.5 inches wide?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's about 1.5 inches wide. So anyway.
Not thick, just wide.
Yeah.
But it is. It looks like a short sword.
Yeah, but this is what he carries every day inside the waist, and needed a better sheath for it. And he has just a single point that it just kind of hangs on your waistband or your belt, so that it can kind of swing and move as you walk.
Yeah.
So I've never made one like that. I've got pictures that I'll post. No, he doesn't know it's done yet. I wanted to bring it here and talk about it.
Show it to me first.
Before I gave it to him.
No, that's cool.
And what's funny, and he's just laughing the whole time he's telling me this too. He knows how ridiculous it is. He's like, big knives, I like how they feel. I like using them. The gun he carries is a Glock 43.
So you got this huge heavy
gun
knife,
and a little micro pistol,
and then a tiny pistol. Yeah,
and he laughs. He's like, I know. He's like, I've tried carrying bigger guns. I just don't like it. He's like, I don't know why I like big knives and little guns, but that's. I'm like, hey, whatever works for you.
Most of us will try and carry a bigger gun, like Glock 19 size, and then we have like a small knife on our belt,
right? Yeah, exactly.
But he does the opposite. He carries like a 12-inch short sword.
Yeah, and he's like, I've got more. And it sounds like some of them are bigger. Which
does he carry those?
Yes. Yeah. So that was interesting. The other thing, and I'm just telling you this because I'm excited about it. So the last 2 weeks was terrible for equipment in my shop. It's like everything was breaking. And I had a catastrophic failure of my air compressor.
Oh dang.
Yeah. It was running, and I keep it in a back room to try and muffle the noise, and it's running, and I can hear it's getting slower and slower and slower. I'm like, oh, that's not good. I was scared to open the door where
Did you check the oil on it?
It's an oil-free machine. It smelled like somebody's slot car track had caught on fire and it was smoking. So I'm like, oh, that's done. So what I didn't realize until then was that my air compressor was having an identity crisis, and it has since let me know that it identifies as a smoker and not as a air compressor. And so we are going to be transitioning it into a smoker. It's a 25 gallon vertical tank with two wheels.
So you're gonna cut it and build a.
I've already
smoker out of
started
it?
stripping it down. I'm gonna cut the front open, and I'm gonna make it so that I can run it either electric or with charcoal. So I'm gonna put a
like a pellet feed type thing.
Nope,
or
I'm not
just
doing
like
a pellet feed. It's going to be totally low tech. I am going to put a hot plate. I'm going to put a hot plate in it with a cast iron pot or pan on it and throw my chips in that. I've been doing research on YouTube and how people are making different things, and I'm like combining different ideas people have to make my own.
Yeah.
So the cool thing about doing an electric setup is you have a lot more control over the heat. I have a rheostat that I can plug the hot plate into, and then I can control the temperature from the outside. I can turn it up or turn it down manually that way. Because I'd really like to be able to smoke cheese.
Okay.
Yeah, smoked cheese is incredible. But obviously it has to be done at really low temperature. Otherwise it'll just melt it all over the place. So I'm going to build it so that I have that option, or I can just pull the hot plate out and throw charcoal in it and run it as a typical smoker barbecue type thing. But
that's cool.
Anyway, so yeah, went over to Antonio's and picked up a new air compressor for a deal, and it's 80% quieter. It says it right on the tank.
Ooh, 80% quieter.
Uh-huh.
All right.
It is really quiet, and it's bigger.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So anyway.
So you're back in business?
Yeah, I borrowed one from a buddy for almost a week while I found the new one and got it up and going.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me.
My turn?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you get one guess what I bought this week. And it shouldn't be a surprise, and it'll probably make you roll your eyes.
It wasn't a High Point, was it?
It was.
Oh, gosh. I need help.
Yeah, I know. So they had... I have a couple of emailers from different gun website deal sites and stuff. And I got this one, and it was like $150, free shipping, and it was the High Point Yeet Cannon Gen 1.
Okay.
But it had the threaded barrel.
It doesn't actually say Yeet Cannon on it.
It says Yeet Cannon Gen 1.
Oh.
So
I thought they never adopted that name, and people were furious over it.
Well, it's because they haven't... People voted to name their new gun, and High Point just slapped Cerakoted or painted on Yeet Cannon G1 or whatever on the slide. So it's kind of a cop out, but people want their Yeet Cannon. Come on, High Point. So I got one, and I don't know, threaded barrel, one for each hand, something, I don't know. But if you think about the cost, how much does a threaded barrel cost for a typical gun? It's like $100 to $200.
Yeah.
So I guess I bought a threaded barrel.
You bought a threaded barrel. It came with a gun.
The gun came with it. So I bought a threaded barrel, and it came with a free gun.
Huh. Awesome.
So I haven't picked that up yet, but Antonio, when it arrives, he's gonna just roll his eyes and laugh at that one. But that was a late night purchase. Remember how I told you?
Yeah.
Late at night inhibitions.
At least you're not on Ambien like Carl used to be, and stuff would arrive and he had no idea he'd ordered.
Yeah. Okay. So I got that. I sold a Glock 19. Yeah.
You sold the Glock 19?
I did.
Huh.
So
why?
Because I've been shooting that dagger quite a bit, and it just fulfills that need.
Okay.
It uses the same magazines.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
I don't know. I just was like, okay, it's time.
Yeah.
So I sold it.
Okay.
And I went to the NOE bullet mold shop.
Uh-huh.
And I did a bunch of bullet casting. I got some 300 grain wide flat nose 458s cast up.
Okay.
So those I'm going to try and load as subsonic in the 458 SOCOM. And I don't know, I got to test out that pump gun.
Yeah.
Pump 458
Yeah.
suppressed. So I wanted something, and with that wide flat nose, it should hit whatever really hard, like really hard. So
Okay.
and I did some 6.5 bullets. So I cast a bunch of 6.5 bullets, and these are the larger diameter ones for the 6.5 Japanese, for the Arisaka, and the 6.5 Carcano. And I don't know, I might try it in my 6.5 Creedmoor. I cast with like 3 or 4 different mold models or bullet models and stuff. So.
Okay.
I also picked up some brass, 7.62 by 39, some 8mm, some 303 British, and 7.5 by 55 Swiss. So I'm planning on doing a bunch of military milsurps, like casting, loading, shooting this spring and summer. I'm ramping up for that. I got all the dies.
I'll have to get my Swedish.
Yeah, we should.
Loaded
and then while I was at NOE, I was talking to him about different molds, and he showed me this big fat pellet. It was like a 12 gauge pellet.
Yeah, it looks just like
It looks like a
regular air gun pellet,
just
on
huge
steroids.
Yeah. So I have not previously done any shot shell reloading.
Huh.
And so Stan, I was talking with Stan and showed him this, and he has, I think he got one from his father-in-law, like an old one.
Right.
And so I gotta do it.
I'm just wondering, why make that projectile in that shape as opposed to a regular slug, 12 gauge slug?
Well, the flat-headed pellets with, that's the me-plat, having it be so huge, it will hit stuff so hard.
Yeah. Okay.
And so, you could use this for like deer hunting, and I'm not sure about elk.
But
you'd have to be pretty close.
It's got a pretty deep skirt on the back of it. Why do you need that in a pellet or in a slug?
I don't know.
Yeah.
The ballistics of it, having the head be a little bit heavier,
Okay.
So it doesn't tumble. I'm not sure. We just know that the pellet design flies because they've used it in air guns, and it's similar to the Lyman pellet mold for the 12 gauge.
Okay.
But
I didn't know there were others.
You could switch out the hollow base pin and
just make a massive slug.
Massive slug that
massive
weighs
flat nosed slug.
Yeah.
That would be kind of fun to test
tempted.
too.
Yeah, so we were at Gunny's, and Stan was super tempted by. They have some Mossberg pump shotguns with rifled barrels.
Huh.
So that would make it so you could shoot these actually pretty accurately.
Yeah.
You could put a scope on it, red dot, and then just shoot them out to farther distances.
Yeah. Okay.
So for someone who is doing shotgun hunting, you usually do that more back east where it's closer distances.
Right.
The deer are a little smaller.
They're smaller. It's not as open as it is out west.
Yeah. So that's something I'm estimating summer, like summertime. I'll come around to playing with it. I might cast some of these up just to, I don't know. It looks so cool. The mold does.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, and anyways, I'll cut some stuff out because we're running out of time. But and this isn't totally gun related, but it's more outdoors. So we did our annual winter camp out. Where we take the boys up and build snow caves, and it's like a 4-day ordeal. We go up on a Saturday, just shovel snow, make these huge mounds. Then on the Wednesday night, we come up and hollow them out. And then Friday we come up and camp overnight.
Nice.
And then Saturday we get to go home. But it was kind of cool. It's always awesome to test new gear. Yeah. When you're out there and in the extremes, because if it's going to succeed or fail, and if it's good gear. My sleeping bag, my humongous Browning sleeping bag, that one's made by Alps Mountaineering. Right. It's a negative 30 degree bag, but it's like huge and spacious. It is. And I like how it's not a mummy bag. But I took that up there, and I used more of a snow coffin. So it's just a trench, or a snow trench. Oh, okay. With a, tarp over top. Over it? Yeah. Okay. And some crossbars, and then snow on the edges. Okay. Hold it down. But it was crazy. I woke up, And well, when I was going to bed, you know, I had set up earlier. Then there's frost all over the inside, like on top of my sleeping bag, like just everywhere. There's frost, and I got in. You know, when I woke up though, there was ice like on top of my sleeping bag, like ice chunks, and some of them, you know, it had like gotten a little bit of, I don't know, condensation or what, but you know, probably condensation because of the, you know, having a tarp over the top.
Right.
I kind of made a door and sealed it off, not all the way, but like enough that, you know, trap some heat.
You didn't get a lot of ventilation.
But, yeah, when I got out in the morning, it was crazy. My boots were frozen solid, and like it's so hard to put on frozen boots.
Oh yeah.
And so I should have, I don't know, should have thrown like a what do you call those little hand warmers?
Oh yeah.
Like wad up a sock around a hand warmer and thrown that in the boots to see if it could keep them thawed. But yeah, it took Noah. He was like trying to put on his boots for like 25 minutes because they're just frozen. So, anyways, it was cool.
Stayed warm all night?
I stayed warm. All the boys did good. Yeah. I checked up on them, you know. And anyways, so if anyone wants to watch a video on that, I did make a video.
Okay.
You have it's kind of hidden. It's just in a playlist. You got to look at the random outdoor stuff on my channel.
Oh, okay.
And you can see it.
Cool.
So that's what I did.
Nice.
All right, let's go ahead and move on to our topic.
Okay.
And our topic is some of the things that we are excited about or curious about or that we just noticed that are new from...
New stuff coming out.
This year, SHOT Show, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So one of the ones, and it was interesting because I already saw one at Gunny's.
Yeah.
The Great American Gun Store, as Stan puts it.
Yeah.
It's a POF lever action 9mm. So it takes...
AR.
Yeah, well, it's AR-esque.
Yeah, it's...
I wouldn't say it's AR,
but it takes a magazine.
Yeah, it's a curved magazine, like kind of like a CZ Scorpion type magazine.
Yeah,
it's a similar magazine to that, or an MP5 mag.
I mean,
like
if you took the lever off of it, it would look very much like an AR, a goofy AR.
Yeah,
or maybe it's more like a chassis.
More like a lever action chassis. I don't know if you call it an AR or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of stuff now, any type of carbine that has like a chassis, they have that AR buffer tube adapter.
They kind of have that same feel,
Yeah, so then you can put a buffer tube on and put any stock AR-15 stock on it that you want. But that it costs too much.
Yeah,
it's like $2,000 or more.
Yeah,
and at that price, there's so many more cool things you could buy for that money.
Yeah, and for me, I looked at it and I was just kind of didn't do anything for me.
I think
I love lever actions.
Yeah, for the non-bullet caster reloader.
Yeah,
that kind of thing would make more sense.
Yeah,
over say like a Marlin Ruger 357 threaded lever action.
Yeah,
because the ammo would be cheaper with a 9mm.
Sure, and that's the only saving grace of this gun. But there's other platforms.
Yeah,
I mean and here's my thing is if you're like kind of a die-hard lever action guy, I don't think you're gonna like this gun.
Yeah, it feels weird. I mean. You
totally non-traditional.
Yeah.
Now, when they started releasing kind of the tactical lever actions and kind of the traditionalists were kind of...
Well, Mossberg made that one that was super ugly.
Yeah.
And it was rattly.
Yeah.
That one was...
But even that one, not in the mix, a lot of the lever action community really kind of turned their nose up to the tactical lever action because they weren't traditional. This is so far beyond.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. It reminds me a lot of like those lever action. Like Ruger made a lever action. It was like almost like a big 1022.
Huh.
But in 44 mag, I think, and like maybe 357.
Okay.
But yeah, it was like a lever action 1022.
Okay.
That's the kind, and they did make one that was like a lever action 1022, like that shot 22.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
But those are like
seen those.
Yeah, those are old guns that
Yeah.
haven't been around for a bit.
My thing is, I think that this POF lever action is going even beyond niche-y. It's like it's pushed the niche market even further into a more minute niche.
So let me ask you this question: what would the price have to be in order for you to want to buy one? Or is that something you wouldn't buy?
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't serve any purpose to me. And so people that have been listening and are going, well, you guys went crazy for the pump action AR. The thing I like about the pump action AR is because it simplified the AR platform. It made it simpler, right?
Yes, the lever action does the same thing, though.
No, a lever action is way more complicated than a pump action.
In some ways not. It's just a manual action.
Yeah, but if you're talking about all the linkages and all the mechanism and everything, it's a much more complicated system than a pump action is.
Maybe
there's way more parts.
Yeah, you'd have to take it apart to see, but yeah.
They're more complicated.
So for me, the price point would have to be $1,200 would make me look a little bit harder and think about it. Like at $2,000, I'm just like I just laugh and put it back.
Right.
And then at about $1,000, then it's like, I wonder what I could sell.
Because they ordered that in with you in mind.
And then if it was like $800, it's like, sure, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So I would buy it, right? No hesitation, just buy it.
I don't know that I would buy it at any point, just because I can't think of why I would need shooting. It or what I would use.
Yeah, it's what it is it's cheap shooting. It's a lever action 9mm.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways.
Moving on.
Okay, so the next one, Aero Precision has gotten into the suppressor business.
Yeah. And
their suppressors are not... So they are not super lightweight.
Right.
They're not super... Basically, they're not special in any way, but they are compatible. I believe they're compatible with, like, their suppressors have the same threading as, say, like a Silencer Co.
Okay.
As well as dead air.
Right.
So I think you can take those mounts and switch them back and forth. So the other thing that they do look well made.
Yeah.
And, it's kind of a heavier suppressor, durable.
I think
it's inexpensive.
The niche they're trying to fill is kind of that middle market.
Yes.
They're not trying to be the top of the line, latest, greatest, and they're not trying to be the budget brand either. They're trying to be kind of a solid middle ground where you're not spending a ton, but you're getting a lot for your money.
A lot of value for the money,
right,
when you look at all the competition.
Right. So. It'd be interesting to test one and see how it compares as far as...
Antonio has one in his shop. One of his friends ordered. You should go look at it. Put your hands on it.
I'm headed there right after this.
Nice. Okay. All right. And then another one.
From Aero Precision.
Aero Precision is basically it's their precision rifle build.
Chassis.
It's like they're building the guns and actions and stuff.
Oh, they're doing the whole thing.
It's the whole thing.
Okay, when I was looking at them, all I saw was just a chassis.
Yeah, and so they're doing it in the Remington 700 pattern.
Sure.
So it'd be kind of similar to like a Bergara, I think.
Okay.
But they're doing chassis and...
They look nice.
I bet you they're pretty good. I'd say they're probably around... I don't know. It just depends who they're getting, who's doing their barrels.
Right.
A lot of that accuracy, all that just depends on who's making the barrel and how good of a job they're doing.
Yeah, but they looked really nice. I like Aero Precision stuff. I think you get a lot of bang for your buck with what they do. And
price point wise, what do you think? Like, do you think it's attractive at like over $1,000?
Well, what I was looking at was just the chassis, and they seem to be between like 6 and 8.
Yeah.
Which seems to be about what a decent chassis goes for. Yeah. And knowing Aero Precision, knowing their quality and their fit and finish and stuff like that, I was like, okay. That didn't bother me.
I think I'd need to get hands on to see if it'd be worth looking at,
Yeah.
But there's so many good guns out there right now.
Yeah.
And even if you were to say, like, and this isn't for everybody, but someone who's, say, wanting to jump into a chassis gun, you could go with a MDT chassis
for
not too expensive and then throw it on a Ruger American
Right.
or like a Ruger, American Predator.
What are the
something like that.
MDT chassis typically go for?
Those, I think they're somewhere between 350, 400 on up to sky's the limit.
Right. Okay.
But
So they've got a much more budget friendly.
they got a larger
Range.
range of like
Okay.
basic, like their LSS is
Yeah.
pretty basic.
Okay.
Now, for our listeners, I'd say the best time to buy a chassis is November and Black Friday sale with MDT.
Okay.
Sometimes you can get those pretty, like some really big cost savings on some blems or whatever,
Right.
closeouts.
Okay.
So I wish I would have bought two
Yeah.
when I got mine because now I really want to throw my little Ruger Predator and 223.
Right.
I want to throw a chassis on that.
Right.
But
Yeah.
anyways. Okay. This one, the next one,
Uh-huh.
is probably what I was most excited about.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
'Kay.
Palmetto has started or announced that they're going to do some STG 44s.
Okay.
So and they're also doing like a military, like old guns, like
'Kay.
old military gun, like
The reproducing
lineup
'em.
of reproducing.
'Kay.
And they're not. They look like the old stuff, but mechanically, I think they're
Better?
different. Because STG
Okay.
44 was like full auto, so
So-
you got to have a little bit of.
So explain to us what appeals to you about the STG 44, because when I looked them up, and from what I could see, they were just doing it in 22.
Oh no! Yeah,
Okay.
they're
So
doing it.
They're doing it multiple calibers.
Yes, if I
Okay.
remember correctly, I didn't paste any details, but
Right.
yes, it is in 223, 300 blackout, 762 by
Okay.
39,
That makes more
and
sense now.
then the tradition is like 8mm Kurtz, I think.
Huh.
So if you could think about having an STG 44 in a kind of like a
A common caliber.
column caliber, but I wouldn't do 223 or 556.
Yeah.
I'd probably want it in 762 by 39.
That's what I was
So,
thinking.
yeah.
So it looks, and I don't know anything about this model, to be honest. And looking at it, it looks like kind of an AK variant.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the like full auto World War II guns,
Yeah.
they just look
Yeah.
similar.
Okay.
They all have kind of a similar look.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was super excited about that. I think there is a large market, larger than what people think, to reproduce military guns, old
I
military
think so
guns.
too.
Especially because of video games, which have
Yeah.
kind of gotten people aware of
Yeah.
different gun models.
Yeah.
And, some of the older guys might just, knock the video games like, all right,
The problem is
Whatever.
because there's other companies that have been doing this, and I can't remember.
yeah, Valkyrie Arms, they've
No,
done some.
There's another one that's owned by Car Arms now. I can't remember. But they reproduce like the Thompson and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're just too expensive.
Yes. So knowing that Palmetto is going to be doing this,
Yeah.
you kind of have an idea that they're going to be
A little bit
affordable.
more- yeah.
Palmetto is awesome because they make guns for the everyday man.
Yeah.
You look at their dagger, look at their AKs. Like when
Uh-huh.
everybody else is charging a bunch of money, they're making these guns in the United States and they're selling them at a cost where it's more affordable than pretty much all the other stuff out there.
Yeah.
With the level of quality that they guarantee. So
Right.
I think all their guns have like a lifetime guarantee,
Right.
where they'll take care of you.
Yeah.
And I've been really happy with my Palmetto AK and some of the ARs that I've bought in the past.
Yeah.
So kudos to Palmetto.
Yeah.
They're teaming up with another company to kind of bring that about. But I'm really excited, and hopefully it's not too expensive because like I said, I'd love one and
Yeah.
something other than 223.
Yeah.
So
All right.
the Hollow Sun. So
They're not even on their website. You know that?
that optic,
Yeah.
it's not on their website.
No.
Well, there's lots of videos on.
I know there are. And,
Yes.
and that makes me wonder if they just have some very early production or test models out, but you can't find them on their website.
Yeah. Okay. So Hollow Sun, it's the DRS-TH and the DRS-NV. So basically, they have these. If you've ever wanted to use a thermal
Thermal or
or
night vision.
night vision
Yeah.
with a red dot.
Yeah.
they're making this optic. That is freaking awesome.
Yeah, I agree, and especially if it's going to be affordable, because
Yes.
thermal is not affordable.
Yeah, if you could get a thermal red dot,
Yeah.
that would be so cool.
Yeah, it would be super awesome.
That'd be fun to do some night shoots with the thermal,
Yeah.
thermal red dot.
If anybody listening has any more information on it, I know there's videos out there that people have tested them and stuff like that, but if you know availability or anything like that, because I couldn't find anything. And this was, I was going through this stuff really quick last night, if I'm being honest, but anyway.
Okay, another one. Now, okay, this one, I don't know if I put it on your list, but this is not a new thing. It's just I was at Gunny's, the Great American Gun Store.
Yeah.
I saw it, and I saw that it was chambered in 3040 Krag, and I had to, take a look at it. But it's the Winchester 1895 lever action, and they make that in 30-06 and 3040 Krag. So this gun maybe they're making it forever, forever ago. But
right.
It was new to me to see, and actually handle one at a gun store.
So what about the 3040 Krag caliber appeals to you in this gun, other than you already shoot that caliber, so why not get a lever action to go with it?
Okay, the reason I like the 3040 Krag is because, one, I already have a Krag, and it's a cool gun, cool cartridge. The other thing is it has a longer neck.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's just the part of it's nostalgia too. You're taking an old caliber.
Uh-huh.
And the Krag's 3040 Krag cartridge tends to shoot cast bullets quite well.
Oh, okay.
And so the barrels usually have a 1 in 10 twist, so it's relatively fast.
Right. And
they shoot big, long, heavy bullets. So I don't know. Maybe it's just nostalgia of a cartridge, but if I had the choice between a 3040 Krag lever action, I'd take that over a 30-06.
Okay.
Just because,
fair enough.
Yeah. Well, kind of it's different and works well with the cast bullets.
Okay.
So
the next one, Stealth Arms Platypus.
Did you check that one out?
1911. I tried their either my computer was having issues or their website isn't very good. Because when you click on build my gun or whatever, no images, nothing comes up. Okay,
so this was a new gun, and I actually saw one in stock on one website.
Okay.
So it is a real thing.
Yeah.
I think Stealth Arms, they made kits to build your own 1911s.
Okay.
And kind of build your own.
And it looked like they did polymer, or not polymer, but 80% lowers and some stuff like that. But their website doesn't work very well. At least it didn't for me. I'm willing to admit it might have been my connection.
It could have been your connection on your phone, right?
I wasn't on my phone.
Oh, okay. It could have been your connection with your laptop or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, the Platypus is
it takes 9mm Glock mags.
So Glock 17 magazines.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking, who's going to buy it?
Me.
Okay.
It's not on a short list, right?
Right.
It seems so weird.
It is.
It's right up my alley.
Yeah, and I can see that.
You could put
taking you out of the equation, who's going to buy that?
I think here's the thing. It depends on how well they're built.
Yeah.
Because everybody double stack 1911 9mm are the
they
thing.
Are. They are.
Everybody's coming out with them, and
they're
high end.
High end.
Yes.
Well, Springfield just released one too. The Prodigy, I believe.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like,
yeah,
it's okay.
But it's going to be rock solid, and it's not. They're $800.
Is it $800?
I thought so. Maybe it was 12.
Man, I can't remember.
But even still, it's a lot less than other high end.
Yeah. So let me just say, if you shot one of these and it shot like a 1911, like a nice trigger, like a 1911, and it was tight like a nice, say like a 2011, maybe not top end,
right?
Because obviously
we're not talking probably, STI or
no, not an STI, but say it's tight, it shoots well, and it's reliable.
Sure.
What's not to love about throwing in a Magpul, was it a D50 or whatever, in the bottom?
It just seems to cheapen the platform.
I don't even know if the Magpul like D the drum will fit in there, but
Yeah.
throwing in it could be for competition.
Maybe.
Really handy to have those 33
So,
round stick mags.
Here's my other thing is, see, 1911s are very much in the same category as like a lever action. You have a following, and you have a following of like purists, right? That are very much...
Oh,
like,
this is very much bastardized.
right. There's huge arguments in the 1911 world when somebody uses an external extractor on a 1911,
Yeah.
right? Because it's not traditional. It's not the way...
It works great.
Even though it's better.
Yeah.
You know? Or I guess that's
you to be debated.
You can debate that. But, so my thing is... What market are they going after with this? What are they trying to accomplish? And it's a steel gun
I think it
that takes polymer magazines?
If
Or
I
is it a
remember right,
polymer 1911?
No. It was like, and now if I say this wrong, it's my bad. But
Sure.
I thought it was an aluminum. All these guns like that I was looking at, they're kind of meshing together in my memory. But I thought it was an aluminum frame and then like a steel side. Or whatever.
So it's an all metal.
Yeah, all metal.
1911. Okay.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my head around who's that is going to attract, and it's like I would like to throw it out there.
If they're accurate, though,
everybody,
like,
sure,
that would be. It would give you a competition.
And maybe I'm
advantage.
overthinking it. That the magazine.
You don't have to reload.
Care.
You just throw in a D mag.
Yeah. Okay. If there was, and I'm asking this question to everybody who's listening right now, if Glock produced a 1911 double stack platform, would you buy it?
Well, is it polymer or is it?
Well, it's a Glock.
So it's polymer.
Yeah.
Okay. Depends if it works.
I don't know.
But it would not look very good because nothing they make looks good.
No, I agree.
So
I agree.
I mean, that's part of the allure of 1911.
They're just kind of sleek and
they
sexy.
Feel good. Yeah.
For sure.
When they're made out of all metal.
For sure.
They just are great.
And that's kind of where I'm coming from. Is that
big ugly black magazine sticking out the bottom?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. And maybe I'm overthinking it, like I said. But I'd be curious to know what the listeners.
Yeah, I would love to shoot one.
Yeah.
So then I could see, hey, is this worth it?
And how much are they? Did you see how much?
I think it was like $1,200, but I could be mistaken. Also,
and for me, if I'm gonna spend $1,200, I want a steel magazine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Plus, it's gonna bulk up the grip even more, and a 2011 already has a big grip.
Not necessarily. It's 9mm.
Oh, that's true.
It's not
but
like
still, even the 9, like the STIs, their grips are pretty chunky.
Yeah, but if you look at, say, like a Glock or something else, like a Glock 19 or a Palmetto dagger, it's not like the grip is like crazy.
No, you're right.
So you could.
But I'm comparing to other double stack 1911 platforms, whether it's a 45 or a 9mm.
Yeah,
that I've handled.
And that's where you'd have to get one in hand.
Yeah,
and then because you would be able to tell if it's like chunky.
Yeah, because if it's gonna make the grip bigger, then it's totally not worth it.
Maybe. I got big hands. You got little hands.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Now the last one, and this one, I was watching a bunch of videos. It looks really, really interesting.
I agree with you.
This is the Rock Island Armory. It's the 5.0. And it is, man, it's almost like a CZ in a 1911 had a baby or something.
Kind of. Yeah.
It's still so unique that there's nothing like it, I don't think.
Yeah. Well, what's super crazy about it is the barrel is square. Now, obviously, the tube is round.
The hole.
the hole rifling is round, but the whole exterior of it is square, which makes absolutely perfect sense to me because of a heavy bull barrel is going to give you more accuracy. And what's the point in taking the time to mill it and machine it round when it doesn't matter?
Well, just so the viewers or listeners understand, the Rock Island Armory 5.0, it does not have a traditional Browning barrel tilt.
Right.
It's the barrel and slide that moves horizontally.
Right.
So I don't think the barrel moves, right? It's the slide that moves.
Yeah.
The barrel's stationary.
Right. Probably.
It's crazy, but it's like the slide sits inside the lower receiver,
Right.
just like a CZ75.
Really low profile.
Low profile.
Slide.
And you get real low bore access. Like you can get your hand way up there. So that is, I would think that would help with recoil management.
Yeah.
And follow-up shots. It is a very interesting gun, and I don't think we've seen anything really like that for a long time.
that people are really kind of pushing some limits and thinking differently.
Yeah.
That's what's cool about it. And looking at it, my initial reaction when I first looked at it, I was like, that's like kind of ugly.
It does look kind of ugly.
And the more I looked at it, the more I was like, well, is it though? The grip on it I don't really like. That lower half of the gun is not very appealing.
I think the lower half kind of reminds me of the Hudson.
Yeah,
but
maybe
a little bit, but the guns are different.
I could love this gun if it shot really well.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like I don't know if it was a decocker or a slide lock lever on the left side. Look, I mean, spitting image of what's on a CZ, and they're just big and chunky, and I don't like them. I think they could refine that a little bit more. The only thing that I looked at on this that had cause for concern, they have two models, one with iron sights and one that is optic ready.
Mm-hmm.
The optic ready has no sights, so there's no way to put
like backup sights or
on
whatever. That, and I think what that would be is a competition type gun,
right?
Yeah,
and that's exactly what they were calling it.
Yeah,
but even in competition, and I don't even the whole co-witnessing thing that is sort of lost on me. But having a backup, even in competition, if your battery goes dead or something, your optic goes down, that's gonna suck. If it's like, oh crap, I forgot to check my battery. Now I can't finish the match. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that it looks really sleek and it makes it stand out because it doesn't have sights on it. But at the same time, it's kind of something that would be easy to do. That would.
I think it's a non-issue.
Yeah.
Because if you bought it with no sights running an optic, you know what you're doing.
True.
And
true.
But
it also eliminates somebody that might want the optic ready one for self-defense.
Yeah. And that gun is quite a bit larger and heavy, I would assume, with that thick barrel.
I would assume so too.
So I would think that they might come out with a compact edition.
But when you read
later
in their text, purpose for it, personal defense.
Well, personal defense doesn't mean concealed carry.
True.
You can run it in your house.
True.
And, I mean, my
I'm
favorite guns for in the house are big ones.
I guess my thing is, and maybe there's other features on it that are different on the competition optic ready one, but it just seems kind of like, why make two different models? Why not just do one that's optic ready and has the sights? And I don't think they would have. I think by having the two models, they're missing a mark. Whereas if they just did one that had all of that, they would be filling every void.
Yeah. Well, another cool thing about it, where is it made? It's made in Cedar City, Utah. So
yeah,
that'd be cool to go down there and I don't know.
Yeah, I
see if they give you a tour of the facility or something.
Everything we've talked about, that interests me the most.
That handgun.
Yeah.
I think of all the stuff we talked about, the STG-44 is high on my list, and then those last two handguns, the Platypus that takes the 1911 that takes clock mags.
That one's lost on me.
I just got to see one. And sometimes you can go into a store, and as soon as you hold it, you know if you like it or don't.
True.
And I know, like, because I was really curious on the Hudson,
Uh-huh.
And I saw one of those, held it, and I was like, it's not what I wanted it or pictured it to be.
Right.
And the trigger was kind of weird too, with that it's like a trigger shoe on the top, or I can't remember. I remember the trigger felt weird to me, and so I was like, don't need it, especially for the cost.
Yeah, for sure.
But
so one last thing for everybody to go check out: the Savage Model 110 PCS.
Bolt action pistol.
And the reason that this caught my attention is because it looks very, very much like the AR pistols that we were building a few years ago, the bolt action pistols where we chopped the bolt carrier group and modified them and everything. And it's come to the mainstream, basically. This is an actual bolt action as opposed to an AR platform, which makes more sense.
Yeah.
But
so I think Remington was the first to jump into the fray.
Yeah.
They've had bolt action pistols, like Remington 700 pistols like that.
this small?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
it's the first I've seen of one.
They've done that for a while, and then it looks like Savage is like, hey, we can do one too.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting, if you're looking for a lightweight.
Yeah, it's a
hunting
pistol chassis.
Yeah.
And the barrels. What I thought was funny is the chambering is like 6.5 Creedmoor.
Well, that's the one that they tested in this article, which I'm like,
why would you want a 6.5 Creedmoor pistol?
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, it says the guy with a 308 pistol.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, there's some fun things to go check out and see what's rolling around out there in the gun world.
Send us some listener feedback on what you guys thought was noteworthy of
if something new
SHOT Show or something that new this year.
Yeah.
Something you've seen or read, or maybe you went to a gun shop and you held it and you're like, hey, that is actually a cool thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, Winchester 30-40 Krag lever action,
Yep.
So,
cool.
All right. Well, that's it. So, until next time, stay safe, have fun.
Thanks for listening, and be nice to people.
And take someone's shoes. I'm tired.
Yeah.